Hi, and thanks for joining us here at Rose Quartz Mediumship for this April 2024 Tarot update. This month we have a lot of excitement. There is the solar eclipse that is happening on the 8th, and anytime there is an eclipse, energy is a little intense for most people. If you haven't already, definitely check out the energy update video that we also posted on YouTube, and that'll have some good information for you about how to navigate and manage as you move through the eclipse. Today we are using the Light Seer Tarot deck. We are using the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck, and we are using the Wild Unknown Tarot. And I'm just going to pull a couple cards from each deck, and let's see what the month of April has to offer us. Ooh, had a whole pile jump out, and I'm just put them back considering there was a pile of them, and it wasn't just a singular card. It'll be interesting to see if we have another pile pop out. I will say that there's always a message for me in the way that the cards are shuffling, the way that they feel as they are in my hands and as I'm shuffling the deck. And the fact that a whole pile popped out in the very beginning of me shuffling, to me says that there might be a lot of intensity in the beginning of the month of April, which makes sense because that's when the eclipse is. So it might feel like the month of April has a lot of intensity in the beginning, and then we might actually find some calmness as we move through the month of April. I will say that grounding is a really important part of the process around any sort of eclipse. So let's see what we've got coming out here for the month of April. We really appreciate you being here. If you don't already, subscribe to our channel, please. And just so you know, we do put out a blog post twice a week on our website, and we put out a podcast once a week. The blog posts come out on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and the podcast comes out on Thursdays. All right, so let's see what we've got here. It's always interesting to me to see the combination of energies that come out as we kind of look at the deck. So the first thing that I'm going to say is that there's this message, and this feels very eclipsy to me, to not forget, right? So don't forget to widen your view, to really look at what does life have to offer you. Sometimes we get really narrow in what we think is possible. So our field of vision, our desires, they become really narrow. It's almost like we get pigeonholed into one particular thought pattern or one particular path. And the eclipse will oftentimes offer us a reminder or an invitation to kind of zoom out, right? Sometimes we think, I have to live this way. I have to live in this area. I have to work this kind of a job. I have to stay in this relationship. I have to. And the reality is that you don't. There's so much that we have the ability to change or shift, and allowing our mindset to really expand can be a really helpful thing in making sure that we have a life that feels aligned, that feels like this is the life that I want to be living. And so the message for me, when I look at these two cards together, is to really remember that this eclipse is offering you the opportunity to expand your mindset. To really ask yourself, what do I want out of this human experience? There is so much intensity that the eclipse offers, but you have to be willing to look at what you actually want out of this human experience. If you're unwilling to look at what you want out of this human experience, you're probably going to have a hard time getting what you want out of this human experience. Sometimes we kind of get in these modes where we are just kind of moving through life, right? It's like life is happening to us, and we're not in the driver's seat of life. And the message is really to look at what do you want, What do you want out of this human experience, right? So what creates balance in your life? We might feel in the month of April that things feel a little bit out of balance. And again, with an eclipse, that's fairly common. So there's a real message about trying to find balance in the month of April as we move through the intensity around the eclipse, but in a bigger sense, right? It's one thing to look at that for the month of April, but let's be willing to zoom out a little bit and say, where do I find balance in life? What actually makes me happy? And can I let go of some of these thought patterns that this is the way that I have to live, and live the life that I actually really want to live? Do the things that I actually really want to do. Be the person who I really want to be. And I will say the strength card really popped pretty intensely for me. And not from a month of April standpoint. I mean, yes, from the month of April. But I think the month of April is going to give us the opportunity to really look at, where is your strength, right? For me, strength always is a combination of intensity and some fierceness with some gentleness mixed in. So where is your strength? When you look at yourself as a human, what is the strongest part of you? What is the magic that you bring to the world? Where is your zone of genius? And are you living in it? Are you doing something very different with your life? So if your artistic expression is really your zone of genius, that's your strength. But you don't use that. That's something that you do on the side. But man, you long to do it as a career. What if you just opened your mindset to the possibility that you could do that? That you could be that you could have a life that felt fulfilled and aligned and also be profitable. I do think in the month of April, we're going to be asked to sit in some silence. The eclipse is going to ask you to sit in silence, and what I watch for a lot of people is that they kind of run from silence. So I'd really invite you to carve out some time where you're going to sit in silence and really be with yourself, right? The first part of this reading, we talked a lot about, what do you want? Who do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to live? You can't figure that out without being with yourself, without being brutally honest and vulnerable with yourself. And so really in the month of April, make sure you've carved out some time, whether it's sitting at the ocean, sitting in the woods, whether it's sitting in the bathtub or going for a long walk or run or whatever it is, but create some space for you to really connect to your desires. I'm a huge, huge believer that our desires pick us. And then we decide whether or not we're going to do something with that desire. So when I was talking earlier about if you're an artist, right? That artistic expression picked that person in my opinion, right? It's some divine connection between the individual and the universe or God, however it is that you say that. And I think that the desire is there. That's built into us. It came with us. It's whether or not we are willing to allow ourselves to step into that desire and own that desire and embody that desire and lean into that desire and move towards that desire. There is something that we are probably going to have to walk away from. And this does feel like it's something in the month of April. So a bigger zoomed out view for sure. It's interesting. I will say that as we're kind of moving through these cards, I'm seeing a theme here where there's something happening in the month of April, but we get the opportunity to look at it on a bigger scale or a bigger picture as well. And so there really is probably something that we need to walk away from. I'm a huge believer that wherever it is that we're going, say I'm here and I want to be up here, in order for me to move here to this next level of whatever it is that I want to do, whether it's business or relationship or personal development or physical fitness or whatever it is, there's a death and dying process. I have to let go of some part of me in order to step into or have this rebirth of this new part of me. And so I really think in the month of April, there might be something that we need to let go of. And that thing might be us. It might be that we have to let go of a version of us in order to step into the new us. And so just really kind of play with the death and dying process this month. What are you ready to let go of? What are you ready to release? I do get this kind of sense that finances for a lot of people are going to feel intense in the month of April. The eclipse might really bring up some desires around abundance, around finances, around career, around expansion of your business, around expansion of your finances. So you may start feeling this real draw in the month of April to really focus on your finances. And what I will tell you is don't play small. This is a time with the eclipse where massive expansion can happen if you let it. And I really get this strong message around don't play small. Don't be little. Allow yourself to dream really big. Allow your desires to be as big and as grand as you can possibly let them be. And then figure out how to be aligned with them. But in the month of April, you might really be asked to stop playing small. And so maybe take a couple of minutes and journal. Where are you keeping yourself small? Where are you playing a small game where you could be playing a significantly larger game? Okay. Let's read the Mystical Shaman Oracle card. So we got the giveaway. So I'm going to hold that card up for a second. And I'm actually going to switch hands just a second. This is such a pretty card. It's very gentle and very spring-like in my opinion. The essence. The giveaway is the gift you offer to life without attachment, without expecting anything back. You can only give what is truly yours. A smile, a nod of encouragement, a gentle touch, a kind word. This is not giving to others what you no longer want, like the sweater that no longer fits, but giving that which is most precious, your authentic love and genuine feeling. The invitation. Make a list of 10 people and things for which you are grateful. Connect with the feeling of gratitude. So I just want to pause for a second and say that I am a huge believer in having a gratitude practice, but I think that there is an enormous difference between a gratitude practice that is based in a mind-based place and a gratitude practice that is based in an embodied place. And so when we have a gratitude practice where we just think like, I'm grateful for heat in my house, food, and my best friend, that's a very mind-based thing, right? Like we've thought those things. And what I'm going to invite you to do is feel them in your body. There is a huge difference between thinking, I'm grateful for heat, and feeling the inner sensations, the feelings that happen inside of your body, and the emotions that are associated with that. What does grateful for heat feel like? Does it feel bubbly and warm? Does it feel expansive? Does it feel supportive? Does it feel like you're being wrapped in a sweater? What are the sensations that happen inside your body when you think about being grateful that you have heat? There's a big difference between connecting with the sensations in your body and a mind-based gratitude practice. And so I'm just going to invite you, when you look at your gratitude practice, can you do it from an embodied place rather than a cognitive or cerebral place? You might watch your reality shift extensively when you shift from a mind-based place to an embodied place. Connect with the feelings of gratitude. The giveaway comes to ask you to feel the same gratitude without needing anything or anyone to inspire it, and to share the gratitude with those you meet. As you offer thanks, your heart opens and you start realizing how much life has given you. You feel the feelings of scarcity and open yourself to abundance that surrounds you. The giveaway invites you to be the flow of life. As you give freely and receive freely. The medicine. It is difficult for you to set limits on how much of yourself to give. If you give more than is healthy, then you will not be able to give for long. You'll feel resentful with a partner or associates, or you'll feel like the world owes you something in return. Notice if you give for any reason other than pure generosity. Are you trying to be liked or accepted? Are you hoping to heal an old wound? Start giving to yourself first and foremost. Offer yourself the care, the love, the time, the acceptance that you are longing for. Once you experience plenty, then you can truly give to others. It is amazing how giving from a full cup is a very different experience than giving from an empty cup. And so, as you move through the month of April and you navigate the eclipse and all of the intensity and expansion that it offers you, make sure that you're grounded. Make sure that you're really connecting to gratitude into yourself, that you're giving to yourself, that you're creating moments of silence for you to really be with who you are and what you want out of this human experience. If you're looking for a little bit more support with the eclipse, check out our mini course on somatic approach to eclipse, where you will get some tools, some lessons, some meditations, some exercises where you can work on expanding with the eclipse rather than fighting the eclipse. Thanks for being here with us at Rose Quartz Mediumship.